过来。上课他等他进来，要帮我关门，你就开始。Okay, let's go live. Today's lesson very exciting. I'm too excited. Second part of chapter 2. So have you all started new response to the pattern? New response to the pattern. I know Parvati Swarupini had new response. When she see the insects coming, she was like, she no more squirm like, ah, like a crazy kid like that. She had new response. Ayo, the mouse is here. Kanisha has a best friend.
刚刚传来消息。
You let me know when you are ready to go live. I think Parvati Swarupini will lower your camera a little. Your face is cut off partially. Okay. Ready, Nityananda, well, live finally on Facebook. So, welcome back to another session of the essence of living enlightenment. And this is Manidya Dugananda, and I'm addressing everybody from Kailasa, Singapore. And I welcome all of you, those who are sitting with me here, and then physically in Adinam as well as online in Zoom and social media, Facebook. So before we enter into the second part of chapter 2, freedom from the past, let's sit with the back straight. Let's center ourselves for a few minutes, getting ready to receive Swamiji message. So close your eyes, sit with the back straight, align the head, neck and spine one straight line. Bring awareness to the physical body, the physical shell of your body, from head to the toes, fingertips. Occupy this body completely with your presence, awareness. Then expand your awareness to encompass your breathing. So inhaling very slowly and deeply. Enter into a gap, a pause, a neutral zone. Then exhale slowly and completely. At the end of the exhalation, another gap. So continue breathing in this manner so that you are aware of the two gaps in your breathing. Our breathing is the bridge between the body and mind. It is also the bridge between you and existence. centering your awareness on the breath makes you come back to the present moment. Instantly, you are reined back to the now. In that restful awareness, in Shravana, authentic listening. Let's invoke Swamiji, the Guru's presence. So join the palms together in Amajali Mudra. Let's chant the Sadguru Vandana followed by 3 times Mahavakya. Take a deep breath. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamutim Vandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunadahitam Sadguruntam Namami Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. So bow down to Swamiji and request him to bless us to receive the insight, the essential, powerful cognition of this today's chapter, part 2 of the chapter 2, freedom from the past. All right, so we can now open our eyes. So today is lesson number 4. Last week we had lesson number 3. Next slide. So those of you who just joined, a warm welcome once again. So we're going to cover these few things. I will do a quick recap of last lesson for the benefit of new people who missed it. Then we will enter into the second part of chapter 2, which is, he said, every new response is a new birth. Understand, every time you respond in a new way, you have a new birth. And then never believe your beliefs. This is a very important part. And then he said, are your patterns taking your decision? And then he said, go to the root. Start with the easier pattern. So he gave very specific instructions how to work on the pattern. We already started it last week, but now he gives more tips on how to work on the patterns. Let's go into it. Next slide. So let me just quickly recap. Those of you who are joining for the first time, who missed last lesson, lesson number 3, Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivan, he defined the root pattern as, he basically defined the root pattern, right? And then he revealed that all problem leads to only one problem. That means once you complete with the root pattern, all your problem will be solved. So the root pattern is the first time when you're imbalanced, by a certain root incident. So he said that he also reminded us that there is no excuses for unawareness, because whenever you're unaware, you lead to more suffering. And responding in a default manner, that means you're already on an autopilot. That means default response. You don't even have the discrimination to decide in a new response. So he then told us to try a new response to weaken the patterns or habits, right? So some of you remember we did an exercise to write down the 3 patterns and then think about how you want to respond differently. Choose a new response. So that's what we covered in the last lesson. So now let's continue with the part 2 of this chapter 2. Go ahead, next slide. So one very important truth that we need to understand, every new response that you choose is a new birth. He said, let me define the concept of rebirth. So in the spiritual context, not necessarily means having just to take a new body. Okay, so let's understand spiritual understanding of rebirthing. So here he said, listen, you have had many bodies and many minds. Okay, So that is the first statement he made. You have many bodies and many minds, right? So you had many bodies through many minds, and many minds through many bodies. And he said, just to pass through one pattern, let's say just to pass through the pattern of lust, you would have taken 20 bodies. Understand? 20 bodies just for one pattern. Or the pattern of fear, intense fear, you would have taken another 20 bodies. So he said, just to pass through one body, you would have taken many, many minds. Understand? Like, even just to live with this body, you have gone through so many minds. Every time you complete, the old mind dies and a new powerful mind is born. So like this, sometimes you say with one body you go through 20 minds, which is a good thing, means growth. The worst thing that can happen is, same mindset but 20 bodies. That means what? Never grow, wasted. Every birth you take, you are still stuck with the same root pattern of, let's say, lust or fear. So that is the worst thing that can happen. That means stuck in the same route for many, 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 many births, many janmas. So he says sometimes without even changing a single mind, you would have gone through 20 bodies. So don't fall into that kind of category of living unconsciously. You should have one body and go through many, many, many minds, which means you're working on your expansion. Every time you drop and complete certain patterns, a new mind is formed, a new power is awakened. So he said, understand, I'm not talking about many bodies. So let's go into alone, just not only many bodies alone. Because people think, oh, rebirth means take many bodies. No. Let's go to the next slide. So he said, so many bodies has passed. You need to understand that in so many bodies, you live with one mind. It means because you are not enlightened yet, that's why you are still here. Correct? So it means the mind of ego, the mind of having the lower cognition of who you are other than the ultimate of that you're Paramashiva. So because you're not able to shift that, that's why we are still here. We're taking so many millions of bodies, millions of births, doing many things again and again, and we are still not attain moksha, liberation. So he said, even with so many minds, you live in so many bodies. Okay? So sometimes with many minds, you are still not liberated. Sometimes with one mind, you're liberated from so many patterns. So that is, the so-called the amazing part about the new birth that we all need to understand. What do you want? Do you want to go through many, many minds with one body, or you want to go through many, many bodies with just one mind? So the moment you understand this, the difference, you have the power to transcend this bondage, what we call as the vicious cycle of birth, death, samsara. Now you have the power to be liberated from this samsara. Understand? So choosing to be liberated means you're tired of being stuck in the same rut, vicious cycle for so many bodies, and still being tortured is like a bondage. So whenever a new way of response starts in you, a new janma means birth, starts in you. So like for example, Swamiji gave an example. Suppose in every situation of your life, you always make the response out of fear. Let's say something that you hear and then suddenly you just freak out because your default response is always from the space of fear. And then, so you start withdrawing and you don't like to confront people because you're the goody person, and you are non-confrontational. Whenever conflict arises, when you see a conflict, you just keep quiet and just stare at the person or just, look down, whatever. And then, or non-involvement, you just try to distance yourself and not get involved. So these are the kind of reactions if tension happen, okay? So suddenly you decide from today, you're going to take the response by facing and with acceptance. So you just like, okay, I'm not going to be a coward anymore. I'm not going to be, bully anymore. I'm going to stand up for myself and face this person or face this pattern, okay? So this is like suddenly you wake up to the inner power of your soul. Then he said, I tell you, from today, your next Jama starts. That means your next birth starts. Every time, those of you who took the decision since last week's exercise to have a new response, understand you started a new birth. Okay? Next slide. So every time you start responding to any pattern in a new way, your new birth starts. For example, he gives another example. He said there was an anger pattern in you, which is about 20% of you. Let's say you have this anger pattern, which occupy about 20% of you. And if you respond to it in a new way, let's say last time you used to be shout at a person, out of your lungs, or become angry and shout at a person. But this time round, you just, instead of shouting, you just walked away. That means bring yourself to a more balanced state before you respond, like choosing to unclutch and walk away, okay? Like this, he said 20% of you takes a new birth. That means that 20% who used to respond in a screaming way, suddenly that 20% is brand new, because it has a different response. So he gives another example of a last pattern in you, which let's say occupy 80% of you. If you respond in a new way, 80% of you takes a new birth. So that is the way how Swamiji say that every time you respond to only 10 to 15 patterns per day. On an average human being, we respond a day about 10 to 15 patterns. So if you have started making a completely new response to those 10 or 15 patterns, your old mind is dead. Your old mind just ceases to have power over you anymore. Instead, in its place, a new mind is created. Understand? So that is why we say every day with the master is a new life. Because when you sit with the master, he will give you new clicks, give you new insight, new truth. And then from there, you will start responding differently from your own mind. So every new response Swamiji teaches us is a new life for all of us. That's why we're constantly evolving, constantly expanding, having a new birth. That's why he said never miss the satsang, right? And whenever he delivered the satsang today, we had a live satsang. It was really, really good. I learned about asuratva, how he defined asura. So it was really, really amazing insight for me, because a lot of us, we don't understand asura. Come in, come sit. So next slide. So he said, listen, do you want to be the friend of the jailer? I think this is something that we talk about. Who can liberate you, or do you want to be the friend of your fellow prisoner? So he said, you can be the friend of your co-prisoners, but can he liberate you? No, you're going to be inside the jail together with that friend, right? So he said, no, instead, work with the jailer, the one who put you in the jail. He can liberate you when the time comes. But people always want to be more comfortable with the fellow prisoner instead of the jailer. So to be friendly with the jailer, you have to have intelligence. You need to be intelligent and raise yourself to his level. or you can be the friend of your fellow prisoner and be in prison forever. So he said that is your, decision that you need to make. So constantly, if you're either changing the body or changing the mind. In one body, you can take many new minds, or in one mind, you can take many new bodies. So which one you want? Please decide now. Do you want to take one body and then go to many minds, or you want to take one mind, stuck with their egoic mind, but having many bodies? So that is, entirely dependent on your awareness. This click that Somji is trying to tell. Next slide. So he said, if you decide to put an end to the old ways of responding that are binding you now, naturally you will be liberated from taking new bodies, right? Because when you decided, okay, enough of this pattern, I'm just going to drop all the patterns, because it is the patterns that make you keep assuming a new body, because you keep coming back. You're never liberated. Or you will be liberated from the cycle of rebirth. So that is something that we consciously have to decide. So here's the activity. Can you all now pen down what you're going to do? You see, for the next 48 hours, okay, try responding to every situation you encounter in a new way. Remember last week when we did the exercise, you list down 3 patterns. And in that 3 patterns, what is the new response you want to have? Now, Somji say, go a bit more, expanded to see how you can respond in a new way for every situation for the next 2 days, 48 hours. You say in some situation you'll be easy. Oh, okay, let's say in the morning you wanted to wake up to do yoga, right? So your new response is, the moment you're awake, you just jump out of bed. You don't allow your mind to say, oh, this is so nice, let me rest for another 5 minutes. And after that, the 5 minutes turn out to another 1 hour. So you miss yoga entirely. So he said, no. Some situation you can change. It's like, for instance, you play with your children, and then you suddenly get angry, right? So you could be flaring and shouting at your kid. And then you realize this one you want to change. So you choose a new response. So in some situation, it'll be easy to choose a new way of responding. But in some others, it is like impossible. Like suddenly you get angry, you cannot control it. Again, you flare out the same old response you did before. So the response that you are struggling to change point to where your patterns are hiding. Catch this. If you again go back to the same response, you're not able to bring a new response, means that pattern is hiding. It is not ready to be exposed yet. Because it's hiding, you're not aware how to deal with it. Okay? So this is what you're going to be doing in the next 40 hours. So all of you got your, you can write down on a book of heart. You understand what this exercise is requesting you to do? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. So every situation, whether it's eating, whether it's deciding to do yoga or not, or deciding to take some decision in the office, whatever may be, in a business, look at it. If you are able to encounter in every situation in a new way, are you able to find a new way of responding? Understand? So, because the moment you respond in a new way, you have given birth to yourself. A new birth started. All right, any other question? No question, we shall move on. Okay? No? Okay, next. So, now this is the thing. He said, never believe your beliefs. Hello? Your beliefs are what? Nonsense. He said, never ever believe your beliefs. He said, what is your belief? He said, see, you respect your belief too much. This is the problem. And you're not even aware. He said, all your beliefs are just a result of your patterns. From the past, something happened and you decided, okay, from now on, I'm going to do this. And then you become part of the patterns. And then your belief gets strengthened. And that strengthening of the belief was coming from your pattern. So all your beliefs are based on only one or two incidents of your life. Because you get hurt and you have decided to cognize in this and you concluded that this is like this. And I'm going to, react in this way. So for the remaining part of your life, you simply hang on to those beliefs and refuse to see anything that fall outside of your belief. That's why these are people who are very regimented in the way how they perceive and what their beliefs are. So for some time, you even stop acknowledging anything that doesn't align with your beliefs. So these are very kind of dogmatic way of deciding how you operate in your life. So I'm just saying, no, break down those beliefs. You see, infuse awareness into your beliefs, then you see all this stuff, losing power over you. They say, become aware of all these ideas you carry about you. Like, oh, I'm not good in this. Oh, I'm a lazy person. Oh, I think I don't like this. All these beliefs are nothing but all your patterns, okay? He said, become aware of your typical response. Question all your ideas, all your responses. All these ideas and responses are what makes you so deeply rooted in your belief, okay? So he says, start questioning them. Why are you behaving like this? Start questioning your ideas. What makes you behave like this? Because you believe in something. So don't even bother about whether that belief has served you well in the past or not. But continuously break free from all your beliefs, all your patterns. Understand? He said within 1 month or slightly more than 1 month is enough to see a change in yourself. That's the way how you transform yourself. When you start questioning your belief, you start infusing awareness. How you even started with this belief, huh? Oh, because something my mom told me and I believe that and I'm living with that kind of belief for the longest time. Now I realize that what she say may not be necessarily the truth. So I'm going to drop this belief. So like a lot of people, when they're young, they are being inserted with different belief by the people they grow up with, right? Like for instance, the caretaker. Let's say it could be the parents, it could be the grandmother, or it could be aunties or nannies. So all these have influence on your belief because when you're young, you're much more open to some ideas. So you could just allow that to become part of your belief. So in this process, Swamiji is telling us, never believe your beliefs. Because when you start questioning, then you start giving a new birth to you because you start breaking all the patterns and the belief that you are defining you, that you carry, that you think you are like this. Next slide. So here's the activity about how not to believe your beliefs. He said, every time you question a strong belief that you hold, you will start creating a new idea about you. Just by cancelling all the wrong definitions you have created about you, you can go on creating a new you. Understand? How you become brand new, how you become transformed is dependent on what you're going to do in terms of breaking a lot of strong belief that you carry. Because when you break all this strong belief, you start creating a new idea about you. Like for instance, you believe that, oh, we are all going to die by the time we reach a certain age, right? Let's say, you believe that on average we live to 80 years old, or maybe a maximum 90 years old. That's how we're all going to die, because you can see your parents also die at this age, or majority of Singaporeans die at this age. So this is your belief. Okay, after 80 years old, I don't think I can do a lot of things, and I will have to, because we're going to have election this weekend, right? Singapore having GE, right? General election. So, and they also question the belief that government believe, 65 is the retirement age, 63 is the retirement age, whatever. Like all this belief that society is established in. Do you what do you call it? Imbibe the belief, or you don't believe in all this? So that is very fundamental, because, like for instance, I know I'm going to live for a long time. Okay, with a healthy body, with a healthy lifestyle that Swamiji is giving, we're going to be here for a long time, more than 80 years old, 90 years old. Okay, easily cross 100 plus. Understand? So if this is going to be my belief, what am I going to do after I cross that age? I have to better start thinking, life starts, at 100. No, life starts at 50. No, life starts at 100. Okay, come. Let's see what you can do, during those, because you're going to believe that your lifespan is longer than, because with Swamiji's kind of enlightened lifestyle, Theravada, all of us are going to live much longer. That's for sure. We take healthy food, we don't take that much, we do yoga, we are able to sit and meditate. So all this kind of lifestyle definitely will have longevity. You're going to have longevity. So this is the activity that Swamiji told us to do. Any strong belief that you have. So now let's take a few minutes, pen down any strong belief that you have. List it down individually. What is the strong belief you have that you carry? And then you're going to create a new idea about you. Okay, whatever that strong belief is, question this strong belief. Because I questioned I used to think that before knowing Swamiji, I used to think that, we're going to die in sickness, because everybody, that's how they die, right? Like for instance, all the people, all my relatives, they all die due to some sickness, right? Whether it's aging related sickness, or some kind of chronic diseases. So my belief is that we're all going to die in some sickness, okay? So by the time I started working, the first thing I did, I go and buy insurance policy to insure myself for the top 20 chronic diseases. Because out of fear, I said, oh my God, I'm going to be sick. So I better go and get some insurance policy done, so that by the time I reach, like 60 or 80s, all the diseases I have to go through. So I was preparing myself to be sick. Do you understand? Because that was what I thought. But after knowing Swamiji, new idea that about my body, my health, totally, shifted me. I created a new idea about me. Like for instance, I read the Graceful Exit book, right? Swamiji recommended us this book called Graceful Exit. How all the enlightened being leaves their body. Go and search this book, Graceful Exit. It is very small, easy to read book. It was so amazing. I was so inspired by so many enlightened beings, how they gracefully leave the body, no sickness. They just sit in samadhi and just withdraw the life force and merge into the source. So I said, wow, this is like totally like a brand new possibility open up in me. Say, I didn't have to suffer and die out of sickness. I can die in samadhi and decide to leave the body in samadhi. I say, oh, this is so cool. So the whole possibility opened up for me. Then I was reading on another book called the Siddhas, the 18 Siddhas of Kriya Yoga. And I tell you, I was so inspired, okay, by this sage called Ramalingam. He is such a great, devotee. He has immense devotion. The way how he sing the glory and, like so poetic. He's such a poetic person. Okay, so that's how he relieved the body. He leaves the body without a trace. He just merged into the ball of golden light and disappeared into from planet Earth. I was like, wow, this is what I want. Live without a body. See, you live in samadhi, you still have keep the body, and you still be, the trace of the body is still there. But this one is like ultimate to me. It's like, wow, it's just like some golden ball light, and the fellow just walk into the golden ball, and then boom, disappear entirely into nothing. I say, not even a trace of hair, of bones, or whatever. Nothing was left. I say, this is too inspiring. So, what I'm saying is that once you start expanding your belief about you, I say, I'm a yogi. I will choose how I'm going to exit this body. I'm not going to die in sickness. I'm going to exit the body, and merge into the source. Either in samadhi or in the golden light. So this is how I'm going to finish off when I and when I relinquish this body. So this is my belief, my new belief. Before that I had this strong belief that we're all going to fall sick and die. Now no, I'm not going to fall sick and die. I will live healthily and decide when I live. And when I live, either I die in samadhi, that means I relax in samadhi, or I merge into the source in the golden ball light. So this is what I have in my mind. So all of you, please pen down what strong belief you have, you hold. I think now in retrospect, maybe because of that belief of a sick body, that's why I had cancer. Remember, even all of you who know, I had stage 3 cervical cancer in 2005. So because of this belief, I'm going to fall sick, and I manifested. Because Swamiji said, you don't manifest what you desire, you manifest what you believe. Because I had this underlying belief, which I'm so unconscious about, and I manifested the cancer with. So be very careful what you strongly believe, because some of your belief could be faulty. It means not rooted on the cosmic truth, which create a mess in your life. Okay, so pen down maybe at least top 3 or top 5 strong belief that you carry about you, about life, that you want to break. Like some people say, I don't believe in God. I think God is just a concept. I don't believe. If you have this kind, you write it down. Or you say that I don't believe everything comes free. You need to work very hard. Life is hard work. If that's what you believe, write it down. So whatever strong belief that you hold, please write it down. Because a lot of your beliefs could be some past failure or incident you experience, and you form that conclusion based on one simple incident, right? So all of you, please write down some of your strong beliefs, because unless you are able to catch yourself, you're not going to create a new idea about you. I give a perfect example about the health, how people should die. And if you believe that you're all going to die in sickness, then you're going to manifest that only. So the moment I start shifting the possibility of graceful exit, totally new perspective open up in me to raise my consciousness, train a yogic body, bring new possibility in this body. So all of you start penning it down. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in your some 40-old belief given by your mother, grandmother, some, teachers, and then get stuck with that forever, and then, ruin your life without having a breakthrough. Because some of the belief could be wrong definition. You created about you long time back, and that, and then that make you feel suffocated or stuck. Okay, you all done with the strong belief? What are the strong a list of the strong beliefs that you carry? Yes. So if you're done with this belief exercise activity, let's move on to the next part. Okay. Welcome, Lu Ping. Okay. So now the next part is, are your patterns taking your decision? This is the thing. Are you able to catch yourself if you're making decision because of your pattern, or you're making decision because you're aware? So this is the exercise Swamiji wants us to do. Okay, so now, after knowing your strong belief, let's go to the next part. He said, look into how you make decision in your life. Please ask yourself, is it out of my mental pattern or out of the willpower or discrimination? Be very clear the different way you make decision. Pattern, willpower, or discrimination. He gives the differences in it. How come? You click back. He gives the differences in the he gives the differences in this. No, you go back. You just backtrack. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. Stay there. He said, on average, you make decision based on these three things. Patterns, because you last time been doing it, you're angry with someone, you make this decision. Okay, so it's out of pattern, unawareness, or certain willpower, because you want that so badly, you just exercise your power of will to make it happen. Or discrimination. What is the difference between willpower and discrimination? I will elaborate later on based on Swamiji's experience. So you say, ask yourself, am I doing this out of honest, truthful insights, in truthful right space? Or am I taking decision out of consciousness, out of spiritual strength? Or am I at least acting out of discrimination? So all these are different permutation of how we take decision. So he said the poorest way of taking decision is from your mental patterns. It's like the most lowest frequency that you take decision. Every time you take decision because of the fear or the greed, he said every time you take decision based on that, you only create a mess and suffer. Understand? Don't make decision because of your mental patterns. He said discrimination is what we need to have, which is seeing the larger truth of life and make decisions. Okay, like for instance, I talk about the death one, how we are all going to die. Okay, do you die in sickness or die in a graceful exit? When you feel that I'm done with whatever I come down to accomplish, I exhausted all my karma, I finished all my mission, I'm ready to relax back to Paramashiva. And that's the way I will exit my body. Not because I got chased out of the body, because you create a sick body, so you got chased out. No. So he said that discrimination, look at the larger truth in life and make the decision. It means you will be completely honest and integrated to the highest truth of life in that situation. Now he gave a very good example. He said, someone has stolen something. Okay? Let's say somebody has stolen something out of greed. And if he's trying to hide even after being caught, and let's say, hey, you stole something. What are you hiding behind? If he continue to hide and don't tell the person to own up, he's strengthening that pattern of stealing, which is not his. But if he says inside his heart, okay, let me be honest, I will be punished once, at least this time round, but at least I'll be out of this pattern for lifetimes. I don't want to give strength to this pattern of stealing. So that is discrimination. Having the awareness to say, let me get out of this pattern, gives rise to your discriminative nature of your mind. Your mind becomes having the discrimination to say, I make a mess, I don't want to do it again, let me come out of it. Let me own up, let me complete with it. But if you say, no, I still want to enjoy, I still want to give myself this, it's okay, no problem, nobody's going to know. Let me just hide it. Then you are strengthening this pattern of stealing. And then forever, you will be carrying that kind of mentality, mental setup to steal. Not just steal physical object, but steal some... Can someone help me turn on? Is the aircon on? Oh, it's on. Basically, you continue to steal, maybe steal something or steal some ideas, or you'll be stealing. Somehow you'll be stealing. So that is a pattern of stealing that you build, a mental setup who has a desire to steal from others, instead of creating yourself, something from your consciousness, something from your being. Understand? That is discrimination. So at least come to the level of discrimination, having that honesty. That means authenticity and integrity to your being, and say, do I want to still do this? Do I still want to continue with this mental pattern? Do I still want to come back and take another body? No! Finish. Then, whatever decision comes from that awareness is discrimination. Understand? Yes, everybody, thumbs up. When what Swamiji meant about discrimination. So at least come to the level of discrimination in Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. Swamiji, the Yoga Sutra, Swamiji will explain one of the sutras that talk about this discriminative nature. We need to be discriminative. Without the discrimination, we're just again living unconsciously. Okay, next slide. So he said, so move from one step to the next. Move from one step to the next. If you're taking decision out of mental patterns, now move to intention. Move to intention. If you're taking decision out of intention, move to discrimination. Keep rising to the next level. If you're in the level of discrimination, then move to consciousness. Understand? Consciousness is the ultimate way to operate when you take decision. Because when you're operating and making decision out of consciousness, it means what? You're Paramashiva. You're enlightened. But if you are still at the human level and still trying to, in the process of raising yourself to the ultimate consciousness, at least now operate in the level of discrimination. Have awareness of the truth of life, and then how you assess what your decision will be. Okay, understand? Do you understand what Swamiji is saying, that your pattern is taking your decision, or you're taking decision out of discrimination or consciousness? These are different level of cognitive, how you take cognition. Okay, because your cognition only will shift you to take certain decision. So it is about sharpening your ability to cognize and ability to take the decision. See, your whole life, all of us, is nothing but making decision. At different juncture, a different level of your life, you make decision. Like you decide to go to university, and or you, instead of working, you want to pursue your degree, your bachelor degree, instead of coming up to work early. That is a decision. I mean, I faced that decision. I remember after my A-level, I went to work for 6 months before my result came out. And because at that time, Singapore was going through a very hard time. There was some kind of financial crisis, so my dad was not able to have job. So I was like, oh dear God, if no job, how to go to university, you know? Then my result, I was working for 6 months as an accounts clerk, because that's what I could do, because I was studying principal accounting in my junior college. So after 6 months, I said, no, I'm going back. I'm not going to be a accounts clerk for the rest of my life. It is too boring. So I said, no. So I'm going back to school. So at different, at first I thought maybe I should just forget about studying, because no money to go to to university. After working 6 months as accounts clerk, I say I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I'm going back to school. So at different crossroad in your life, you will be making decision, right? Even at different time, let's say whether to when you are sick, whether to go to a hospital, or you want to take care of a body in a different way, or take an alternative way of healing. So all these are just decision we all have to make for ourselves, because this is your body, this is your mind. You have to decide. Otherwise, someone will decide for you, and then you may not like it. And when they make the decision for you and you don't like it, you will be suffering. Oh, how can you do this to me? But too late. Because you don't take responsibility, somebody will take responsibility for you, and then of which is not what you want, and then you start suffering. Understand? It's just like you don't take responsibility for your health, and then when you become so sick in some chronic diseases, then the doctor will take decision for you. To cut you or to operate on you and make you put on some medication and do all kind of funny thing to you, very invasive treatment, and then after that you find that your body is destroyed. So all these different juncture, please make your decision wisely. Don't make it out of patterns, make it out of discrimination and consciousness. So here's the practice Swamiji gave. Okay, listen. Say, how often do you act out of patterns? List it down. How often? Let's say on one day. How many times you act out of patterns? Come on, let's be honest. Write it down. How often do you act out of discrimination? It means having the awareness of the truth, and then assessing the whole situation, and then you make that decision. Watch yourself continuously, and you'll see how simple awareness can move you towards more conscious decision. The worst part is make unconscious decision, because when the conscious decision, it means what? More suffering, more mess you have only. So please write down. on one day, or let's say you just look back in the last 40 hours, how many decisions that you have taken which is out of patterns? And how many decisions you have taken it is out of discrimination? Just do a quick reflection. Because when you become discriminative and aware of how you live your life, you will be able to catch yourself. Catching yourself is being ferocious with yourself, okay? Nobody's going to tell you. You have to catch yourself. I mean, you can start from the moment you wake up in the morning. What kind of pattern, thought current you entertain that stop you from doing your morning yoga practice? Swamiji say, go and wake up in Brahma Muhurta time and start your day at 4:30 till 6 o'clock. That window before the sunrise is the perfect time. Are you able to do it? If you are still not able to wake up in Brahma Muhurta time, question yourself. What is the pattern that is stopping me? If despite Guru say, wake up during that time and do your yoga, start building your body, but you're not able to do it. Someday you're okay, someday you fall out. You're not able to consistently build into your muscle memory. It meaning you wake up already, to the toilet, do all the cleansing, roll out the mat and start your daily yoga practice. Okay? How often you're doing it out of discrimination? See, if you're not able to keep the Brahma Muhurta time yoga, be very clear, you're still giving power to your patterns. Only when you're able to do it out of discrimination, you will be able to live Brahma Muhurta daily. Okay? This is just a scale for you. Okay, can we go on to the next slide? Once you have taken all this, this is as like a practice. So now somebody say, go to the root. What do you mean go to the root? He said, go to the root of every response. Find out when you started creating that particular response in you. There may be 10 qualities in you, positive, negatives, all jumble up together. Like the courage, depression, insecurity, confidence, anger, all these qualities. There are at least 10 qualities or even more. When do you start developing these qualities? It means what? When do you start responding in this way to this problem? Go to the root of all this and find out when that pattern took birth in you. That is the time this version of you took birth. That means how you are now behaving, that version of you now, go to the root where you develop this birth, you took this birth. Understand? Like the birth, the quality of laziness, procrastination. You procrastinate in doing your morning yoga because of laziness. You don't want to sleep 5 more minutes, and then after that you miss Brahma Muhurta time. So look inside how you created this pattern of procrastination, not wanting to act immediately, not wanting to live this yogic lifestyle. Go and drill. Find out how procrastination took birth in you. You know, Somji, in one satsang I remember, he said, laziness is like a small Satan, you know, small devil. I think he said, you know, like a small little demon inside, laziness. But he said like a big Satan is like procrastination, because that one, you know, even the guru cannot help. He said, guru cannot help if you have laziness and procrastination, okay? Understand? You have to decide, you have to come out of this yourself. Guru will not even able to make you drop this. You have to use your will, power and discrimination to come out of this pattern. Okay? So go to the root, list down some other, like 10 qualities you have. Let's say you pick up, you have this nature of insecurity. You feel insecure. Like something's going to take away from you or something bad is going to happen. So if you have this kind of like a pattern of insecurity, then write it down as one of the qualities that you want to, negative qualities you want to work on. And you feel that, oh, this is something that I really need to come out of it. So write it down and go to the source of the root of how this thing, this pattern or this quality become you. How it becomes part of you. I remember I was working with one of my friends, and I was asking her, hey, so I asked her one of her inner image. What is her inner image? When she tell me this, I was just shocked. She said she always have very hard, the way how she talk to herself is very hard. It means she will say herself, I'm like a piece of shit. She tell herself that she's a piece of shit, okay? Then I say, how can you say like this to yourself? How can you be a piece of shit? You're so excellent. No, but that's the way how she perceives herself. Like so hard on herself. How come she becomes so hard on herself? So I say, no, stop telling yourself that you're a piece of shit, you know. That's not a way to talk to yourself. So all this come from certain past incidents. So you need to go and find out. Okay, next slide. So here's another activity. You say, go to the root of every pattern, those qualities that you listed down. Go to the root of it that you have, and then you see when you started responding in that way. Then now decide, from now on, you will not assume there's any more pattern. You will assume only the flow which deliberates you. That means looking for liberated thinking, liberated way of life. Make a conscious decision to respond only from consciousness, from pure spiritual freedom. See, being discriminative is one step closer to consciousness, but ultimately we should move to responding everything from the complete consciousness of spiritual freedom. Okay? Then you will have no karma, then you have no regrets, you don't feel guilty, nothing of this will ever haunt you anymore. Because when you operate from pure spiritual freedom, please be very clear, there is no attachment, nor there is any karma that comes with it. It's just flowing with life. Life is just consciousness. So see, when you function in a liberating way, you will radiate all the auspicious quality. Understand? Because you're operating like Paramashiva. So nothing will come out except auspiciousness. So you will not even know it. You will not even know that you are radiating auspiciousness quality. So you will not think that you have these qualities, but others will think that you have these qualities, but you will radiate all of them. That you don't even know, but someone will know by living with you or working with you. They say, well, we have these qualities. So that is the beautiful part of when you function in a liberating way, not from pattern, but out of consciousness and pure spiritual freedom. Understand? This is so powerful. This whole exercise is so powerful because you will just raise your frequencies and start operating like a divine being. The whole entire way you take cognition and take decision, my goodness, your life will be completely transformed from a human being full of sufferings and unawareness to someone who is playing in this plane. You're just playing and radiating the divine qualities. Understand? Okay. Now, next slide. So, how, after you listed down a whole bunch of patterns or qualities that you want to work on, Swamiji give now another tip. Say, please start with the easier patterns. Don't start with the difficult one. If you start with the low-hanging fruit, the success will be there. You enjoy the fruit. You start from the top of the tree, you can't reach there, and all the low-hanging fruit patterns still out there. So he said, when you start the war with your patterns, you declare, now I'm going to wage a war with all the patterns that I have. Let's say you tell the patterns, I'm going to wage a war against you now. Listen. But you unconsciously plan to play a losing game. Okay? One fine day you say, oh, I'll break my drinking habit of 25 years. You can break a drinking habit even if it's 25 years old. Okay? But only after having enough tools and weapons to fight with your pattern, your mental patterns, to complete with your mental patterns. He said, when you begin your relationship with you, that means rebuilding the relationship with you, don't start fighting with the bigger pattern first, because you will lose miserably. You lose the battle miserably. First, start completing the patterns that you will find relatively easy to drop. With that success, with that confidence, then you move to the next level of the patterns. So, say the patterns that are not yet to be rooted, you will have courage. You will have confidence to grow spiritually. If you try to work with the most difficult pattern, I tell you, after a few times you feel so failure, it's like you give up. So the relationship with you will start getting built when you start to work on those easier patterns. You have the space to listen to you. If you start with a more difficult one, you just, you find that it's too difficult, and you feel that you are not able to come out, then you start to lose confidence in yourself. You start losing faith in Swamiji's technique. You say, what? Completion? Doesn't work. I try already, I still get stuck, and the thing's still haunting me. I don't think I can believe you. Then you again miss the Guru. You say, no, once you develop listening, you can work on strong patterns. So work on first the easier pattern, the low-hanging fruit first, then you ascend to a more stronger patterns. Understand? How many of you started with a strong patterns and get beaten up? Failed miserably and lost confidence. How many of you had that? Ma Bucharitra had that. It's like, how come it didn't work, Swamiji? Huh? How many of you had that also? Okay, Parvati Swarupini also had. She tried to work on strong patterns and then didn't attain any result, and she feel like, oh, how come you like this, huh? Yeah, even Anandata also, right? At one point in time, you're like fallen so low, it's like you're almost going to give up on yourself already, isn't it? So here's the tip. He said, don't work on those strong patterns. Gather the strength, gather the momentum, gather the courage, because the strong patterns is not just one birth. It's many births. At least your 20 bodies are taken with that same pattern. So what makes you think that 20 bodies pattern, like at least 200-year-old, right? Let's say you have 20 bodies. That means, assuming one body you live for 100 years, like 200 years of that pattern. Huh? Yeah, 20 per, isn't it? So it's 2000, sorry. It's 2000 years of dinosaur pattern. It's a dinosaur living inside you for 2000 years. That pattern, what makes you think that you're going to extinguish the fella in just one moment, right? So work on those easier patterns to drop first. Then move to the stronger patterns, because by the time you reach those strong patterns, you only be left a few only, right? Very few only, because this is where the same thing you did, that you assume the same body with the same mental setup, only that few pattern only you keep coming down. Okay, because you filter, oh, only maybe a handful. Okay, next slide. So here's the last part. All of you please do. Today's session has a lot of activity, but they are very, very practical, guided activities. So now, please listen. He said, make a list of all the patterns you're struggling with. I think you already started in the earliest activity. You can classify them under strong, medium, weak. Okay? So based on the hold they have on you, okay, this weak pattern, okay, it's easy for me to drop, no problem, weak pattern. Medium, I struggle a little bit, but which means I need a little bit more discrimination. Okay, list it down. Then the strong patterns, not only you need discrimination, you need consciousness, you need guru's help, you need whatever. So it's like the one you have been being tortured for many births, you know, but you do not know how to complete with it, because you try to do some completion, but it's still there, you know. You find that, hey, how come it's still there? I still not able to get out of it. So these are very, very strong patterns. So breaking down in these 3 columns, can you all list it down? Whatever you listed, and categorize them into weak, medium, strong. Okay, so this is the first step, making a list of all the patterns that you're struggling with under these 3 headings. Column 1, weak. Column 2, medium. Column 3, strong. Okay, let's sit down. Then he said, start working first through the weak patterns. Let's say a pattern of foot pattern, for instance. You say foot pattern. Okay, this is quite easy. I can just stop this because I just do liquid diet, or I just do Pachipanibhatram, something like that. So, and resolve to stop responding through these patterns, right? These weak patterns. After a few weeks, you see that you will have broken many weak patterns and ready to move to the next level, medium patterns. Okay, so start with all these weak patterns that some of you may have done a lot of completion before, so you may have already worked through a lot of your patterns in the last few years. But that's okay. If you have already done it, that's great. You know, but some of you are starting this brand new. Please do it. Okay, you realize that many things will reveal itself. Then after that, third, he said, now move to the medium patterns and repeat the same process as you did with the weak patterns, and then lastly the strong patterns. So work layer by layer, column by column. Okay, in this way, he said, you will be successfully breaking your patterns, and you will also have the courage and confidence in yourself to break stronger and stronger patterns, which you brought it down from your vasana, your mental setup, which come as a seed when you assume this body. See, all of us, in the Sanskrit, they call the vasana like a certain seed. The seed of that pattern is not yet sprout yet. Let's say the pattern of let's say in your few birth you had killed yourself. Okay, you destroy yourself by committing suicide, and that seed is still there. So every time when you face some adversity in life, you want to kill yourself. You want to end your life. That kind of ideas or the thought current will come up. Let me just finish it off. I don't want to struggle anymore. I'm so tired. That kind of thought current. Please be very clear. The idea of trying to kill yourself is not only this birth. That came from many janmas of self-destruction, destroying your atma, destroying your soul. Those people who destroy the soul in past birth, be very clear. If you never complete with that, you have the same kind of seed inside you from those birth before, and then you again in this birth you bring it back again. Every time a small setback only, you just say, I want to die. You just feel depressed. It's like, let me just go and destroy myself again, and I finish it off. I don't want to struggle anymore. Thinking that by finishing off, destroying yourself is the way out. It's another deep illusion. Not knowing the truth, the discrimination of the truth, you know that committing suicide is never going to be an answer. Swamiji already said. You only spiral into more mess. Because suicide is a downright disrespect of the gift of life. Disrespect to the gift of life, because every birth is so precious. Every human birth is precious. And you not respecting the gift of life, it's really comes with a huge karma. So I think in Swamiji's book, those of you who have read, those people who commit suicide ahead of their lifespan, they will have to live as a ghost without body during that period, and then till the next body is available. Understand? So let's say you're supposed to live till 60 years old. By 20 years old, you go and commit suicide because you have fallen out in love, fallen out of love with some man, and then you go and commit suicide. So for 40 years, you live like a ghost only. So that kind of torture during the 40 years as without body is, Swamiji say many times worse than when you're in the body. So say fundamentally, Cosmo do not support or encourage life destructive kind of way of living, because life is about expansion, right? If you look at how Paramashiva exists, because to enjoy himself only, he expanded. He created this whole, you see, to enjoy me, I manifest so many of you, right? So that is the thought current of the cosmos. Now, if you want to destroy yourself, obviously you're going against the flow of cosmos. Naturally, it's going to come with a lot of karma and suffering. Understand? So now, do this list, because once you have done this weak, medium, strong, then you will definitely have the courage to work on, all the different level of patterns that you have identified. Everybody done with these three things?
Pattern and belief.
Huh?
Yes, when you say patterns and belief, basically every day they run down more like a pattern. But there's, in the first place that there's a belief is also there. So
see, certain belief only you form certain pattern, certain cognition. Yeah, you cognize something in certain way. That's why you act up in certain way, and if you do it consistently over a period of time, it becomes a habit or pattern in you. Let's say you do it only one time, then it's not a pattern. But repetitively, you're doing it the same way, responding the same way, then it becomes a pattern. It becomes like a default reaction. Understand?
But it's not a belief.
No, a pattern is something that you do.
Routine action.
Yeah, it's like it's already like part of you. Belief is more here.
Basically, like every time when you start the day, everything you run through the pattern. Whether it's belief or not, but you run through the same pattern every day.
Yes, yes.
And it gets started up slowly believing that pattern is right.
Yes, when you're unconscious, you think that is okay. All right, so now let's sit for 5 minutes. If I've written down, let's see, in that 5 minutes, Swamiji would have revealed some more pattern to you now. That you may have missed, or you may have not caught yourself. Shall we? Just close your eyes, sit with the back straight. If you have an eye bend, go ahead. Otherwise, it's okay. Just close your eyes for 5 minutes. I'm going to play the Mahavakya. So sit with the back straight and pray to Swamiji to
I welcome you all with my love.
to guide each one of us.
Let you all open all your three eyes.
In the way to identify our patterns and complete the pattern. relax. You can open your eyes. If you receive some more insight, you can write it down. Let's go to the next slide. We'll try to conclude. So, this is especially for new people to become part of the enlightened civilizational nation, Kailasa, by signing up as an e-citizen. So if you want to become part of the citizenship in Kailasa, please contact any one of us, especially the Rajya Sabha member. For more details, we'll be more than happy to guide you. Next slide. So tomorrow starts the batch 6 of Paramashiva Sena on the 1st of May, Labor Day. So those of you who are going there, all the best. And see, this is one thing that Swamiji is giving us opportunity not only to work on patterns. In the first 2 weeks of this program, it's a 1 month long program, he worked very deeply on your patterns, your incompletion. So if you want to be guided by Swamiji directly, attend this program, Paramashiva Sena program. He will guide you and transform you within that 1 month. And the best part is this program is free. All you have to do is pay for your own accommodation and your transport. That means how you get there. Okay? So free program by Swamiji out of his deep love and compassion for all of us who wants to be transformed. Next slide. So next week we start chapter 3, the power of completion. Now we're finally coming to the real subject matter. So in the first 2 chapters, he talked about how we created this, how we live unconsciously. And then the second chapter, he talked about freedom from the past. And then now, he gives a solution, the science of completion. So next week, 7th of May, we'll have the next session. So with that, I thank all of you for coming to this session to learn something, the essence of living enlightenment. I enjoy myself. Every week is like a new learning. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Yes? Okay, so shall we conclude with the Puna mantra? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sauvam Bhagavad Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Paurka Paramastu Om Nityanandam. Thank you, Nityanandam. See you next week. Let's stop the recording and live stream.